Beautiful people, it's your boy Nate Jackson. It's another episode of Opinionated. Listen, a lot going on. But here's what's on my mind right now, right? Have you ever gotten like a frozen dinner and then you heat it up and then the outside be hella hot, but the inside still be ice cold? You ever had that happen? I'm sick and tired of that being my experience with people. Like, if you gonna be around me, can you be consistently the right temperature? I'm sick of it being one way on the outside, and then when we get to the core of what you are and what you're about and who you are, that the shit is ice cold. It's not different. It's not the same. It's not consistent. I can't stand that. Whether that's in business, whether that's in faith, whether that's in friendship, whether that's whatever it is in, you know what I'm saying? Cut it out. Also, worst case scenario is if you're, I don't know, an employee of somewhere and you give that same experience off. You know what I mean? What happened to the people that were the rocks? The people that were resolute, the people that if we talk on Monday and then we don't talk again for 2 weeks, that when I talk to you again, wherever we were at on Monday is still that. I'm extremely that. Like, I don't need to see somebody every single day and to have what have you done for me lately energy and to maintain how I feel about the status of said friendship or interaction. Like, I don't need that. What I need is people to be consistent. Just be consistent. I'm not even gonna box you in. You can grow, you can change, you can literally you can have bad days. But at the end of the day, for a Leo person, for a Jackson, and for particularly me, I want to know that I can rely on wherever we were at, that it's that. It's not like, oh, because time passed, shit didn't change. Because I for sure expect to come to you with the exact same energy as the last interaction. Well, what is it? I haven't seen you. I can't stand a what's up stranger text. Who the fuck are you talking to? Like, I'm the same person, right? This is why certain relationships in your life, uh, you know, if they stop, or the sad thing, if you lose somebody or somebody is no longer in your life, the sad thing is, even though let's say you weren't close on the day to day, but you've been consistent for years, you now know that consistency there's not another meetup of that stature, of that level. There's not another embrace coming. You know what I'm saying? And people that are like me, people that got like attainments and people that move and groove the same way I do, got the same sentiment. I don't need to see my cousin every day to be like, I love you, cousin. When I see my cousins, it's like, oh, we hit it off right away. But now that things are moving in my life and the needle is pushing or whatever, people are for some reason testing that theory to see their value in my life. It's one of my new pet peeves. And so when people say, don't forget the little people, y'all don't understand. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm literally the same. Your perspective of me has changed or needs to, and just act accordingly. What's the big deal? It blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? It blows my mind. Another thing that bothers me, since today I'm just gonna be talking about what grinds my gears, is amnesiac people. If you come to me and you ask for help, I am gracious enough to give it to you, literally take you through a crash course, literally help you strategize and architect whatever you're trying to accomplish through project management skills and what I've learned in college. But if it comes up, direct or indirect, where did that come from? Where did you get that from? Where is this new surge in productivity? Where is this new surge in whatever? Where you got this needle push person? I think that you should say where the fuck it came from. I think you shouldn't belittle it to a goddamn jersey. Okay? And I'm not picking a bone with any particular person. That's just an example I chose to use because you guys can at least scratch the surface of understanding what I might mean when I'm talking about that. This is something that's been consistent in my life for years. Ever since my knowledge base or my knowledge level hit a certain point to where I actually could be a resource for other people. Some people come around the right way, some people come around the wrong way, some people come around in a disguise, but you recognize the characters. Then somebody can try to smash, take, steal, swipe, whatever your sauce, and then justify it by being like, but don't you teach that? I had a friend, because this, I'll say it, this ain't about Gary. I had a friend that literally stole my life plan. My mom does strategic goal guides for entire school districts. She's an educational consultant, and I took her whole program for an entire school district. This is maybe 15 years ago, and I plugged my immediate, intermediate, and then long-term goals into it, and it was extremely powerful because it had uh, benchmarks and expectations for when things were supposed to be done. But it helps to take a grandiose idea, a dream that seems fathomable, and make it to where it's one step at a time. Just do the steps and you look up and you've done the whole journey, right? No journey starts without one step. So this just breaks it down into little tiny attainable goals. And then you look up and now you're the doctor that you wrote down. Okay. And my best friend at the time, I was like, I want you to be able to plug your life into this so that you can have some direction and be able to chase your goals and bring things to fruition. I let him see mine as a template. I said, use this to make yours. We fell out. For the next 4 years, I had to watch that person literally do my goal, my strategic goal guide. Ideas I had, I saw them try, like, well, they weren't even in their own lane no more. Then later on in life, probably 2-3 years later, a, a friend of mine from high school who was a mutual friend to both of us broke the seal of silence or whatever since we had fell out and was like, I don't know what the big deal is. Don't you teach classes about that? Don't you have a book on that? So why are you so mad that that person did it? Again, for some reason, I don't know why certain humans can't wrap their mind around the concept of, if I'm willing to give you the game, at least cite your sources, like a fucking college essay would ask you to do. Like any essay after sophomore year in high school would be like, okay, you feel this way about the concrete details and the commentary of this paper. At the end of this, cite your goddamn source. Where, why? That's the point of credits. That's the point of giving credit. That's the point of giving credit where credit is due. And for somebody with a fucking clothing line called The Roses, which is literally a metaphor for giving somebody credit where it's due, it's profound that this happens in circles around me in the space that I'm in. When I do so much for other people, when I give credit all the time, overly give credit. I gave credit, and my agents pointed this out. They're like, bro, you did special things on a tour called I Did It, I'll Do It Myself, where you definitively put together an entire tour and did all that shit yourself. This is before team, and we all built around that and turned it into what we're at now. But on that, I'm like, special thanks to this entity, this business, this company. Like, because even though I'm saying I'll do it myself, no one is truly by themselves. So you have people who are out here doing things with group efforts, with teams of people. And then when it's time to say thank you or pay homage to somebody, or God forbid, you say their name and it gets them some goddamn work or business or something, you don't. It's wild. Then what's even more perverse is to flip it and turn it into something trivial. Whether that's a jersey, whether that's a, hey, don't you teach that? So why are you mad that they're using it? Whether that is to take your ass across town and use the knowledge I just taught you to throw a competing show. Whether that is to, whatever it is. I can't stand it. That's the second pet peeve. I just want people to be consistent. What up, beautiful people? It's your boy, Nate Jackson. Listen, between my busy schedule and summer plans, sometimes all I got is a couple minutes. That's it. Factor Meals helps me eat smarter with tasty chef-prep meals that are dietitian approved and delivered right to my door. And now, with more than 65 weekly meals made for how I live and what I like to eat, I've got even more ways to fit in a real meal wherever the day takes me. They got more variety and even more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, at no extra cost. You can support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals, and now Mediterranean, you can support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and the new Mediterranean diet options that are packed with protein and good for you fats. You can savor global flavors. Listen, for the first time, you can try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. I use this and you should too. Eat smart at factormeals.com/opinion50 off and use the code opinion50 off to get 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for a year. That's code opinion50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Factor. It's the real deal. Also, some of y'all grandmamas were hoes. Your grandma's a hoe. And you need to just grasp that. Your grandma was a hoe. And so since she was a hoe, whoever she was the parent of, they got that hoe in them. And then you got that hoe in you. So if you want to get rid of that line of wholeness and hoe-assness in your line of hereditary, you got to put a stop to it. The same way children have to grow to a certain age and be like, I'm going to stop this trend of alcoholism in my family, or I'm going to stop this trend of high blood pressure, or I'm going to stop this trend of whatever the thing is. You got to wean that hoe-assness out of you too. You don't have examples at home to be like, if your grandma a hater, your mama a hater, you a hater, nigga. You don't even know how to move without hating. You don't know how to move without being the antagonistic pessimist because you don't have examples. You need to surround yourself and put yourself on a diet of uplift, on a diet of positivity, because you a hoe. And it's beyond you. You came out a baby hating, nigga. You're a hoe. And some of y'all grandma really, really are hoe, like promiscuous, nigga. And that's not on the point. Your grandma used to get packed out like a brand new box of Newports. Just getting their cheeks clapped on a camping trip in an army Jeep. You got a black and white picture, look like she was going to a diner. And she went to a diner, all right. Guess what happened at them drive-in movies? Cheeks clap. That's your granny. It's your granny, bro. Fellas, you dating a new girl, you're trying to figure out what her essence is and what she's about. I'm going to put you on some game. My dad told me, find out about her mama. Find out about her mama. Because that's who most women get their sensibilities from. Is the mama crazy? Then what would keep the baby girl from having the same sensibilities as her mom? She's watching how her mom deals with stress, watching how her mom deals with arguments, and that's her example of womanhood. Do she sock her nigga? Did her mama sock her daddy? Do she yell? Is she la, 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 la? Well, what kind of household did she grow up in? Did they yell? Is that normal? Because what your normal is as a kid can establish what you think your normal is as a parent. Unless you break that shit. Kids raised by the TV got short attention spans, with all the stuff you know from the studies, then they grow up and guess what they do? They watch a shitload of TV still, they let their kids watch a bunch of TV still, and the TV is the parent. Track down the mama. How big is the mama's knees? I know you're going to look at that and be like, this nigga crazy. But it's just like picking out a puppy, man. You want a big dog? Go get the one with the biggest paws. It's going to grow into them paws. Your girl petite right now, you meet her mama got motherfucking elephant kneecaps. Your girl gonna have those when she hit a certain age. She's just gonna flat out hit those. Unless her dad is built some other kind of way where that's what she got. But she gonna go into that. Also, is it gay if you talking to a girl and she finding a motherfucker, right? And but then like you see a picture of her daddy and you realize she looked like this nigga? Is that gay?
I don't know. I have a theory if you got to ask the question.
If you ask about whether or not it's gay, you gay for asking?
I'm saying it's gay.
What part of it is gay?
I don't know. Just if you got to ask.
Yeah, but it's a female.
I wouldn't ask that question.
Man, listen, my homegirl Kiana from high school, she was like, when people be like, hey, who the bad bitches at your school? Kiana will fuck around and get listed at least in top 5 every time. Nigga, her dad came in from out of town. He was from Texas or something. And it was a grown nigga Kiana walking around that bitch. And everybody was like, oh, wait, what? I'm talking shit. This girl talking shit to her. She caked out. Yams. Right? I was like, I'm just playing. I'm like, and she tall. I'm like, damn, you got your height from your mama sure you got your height from your daddy? She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, look, so you tall and thick. She's like, I got my butt from my dad too. I was like, what? I'm looking at a vicarious nigga booty? Vicariously, I'm looking at a man butt? You ever seen a beautiful girl with big ass feet? Talking about, I got my daddy's feet. I know somebody that just said, I got my daddy, don't look at my feet, please. I'm like, what's wrong with your feet? Wasn't even thinking about looking down. Don't look at my feet. Why not? I got my daddy's feet. I'm like, what? Fuck do your daddy's feet look like? I look down at the foot look like a regular girl foot. Does that mean your daddy got girl feet or you got man feet? Big long ass shoes.
I just looked it up. So while there isn't a specific widely cited percentage of how many women resemble their fathers, research suggests that daughters often inherit a significant number of facial features from their fathers. I'd agree to that because my daughter looks like me. A bunch of my friends who have daughters, they resemble them.
She looks like she is your daughter, but it's not twin, where have you been? Does that make sense? Like I can see the other half of what contributed to McKenna. Twins? Bruh. My cousin Nate Robinson and his dad Luther Robinson are twins. My cousin Nate Robinson and his sister Candace are twins. So that means Candace looked like my Uncle Luther. And I mean dead on. It's Uncle Luther getting his hair done. It's Uncle Luther putting lipstick on. It's Uncle Luther doing his eyelashes. It's Uncle Luther getting his eyebrows art. Now, when she do the whole combo, Candace is killing them. But it's Uncle Luther's face. I don't know how else to put it. Now, I'm not sexually attracted to my own cousin Candace, but she keep a boo. And each boo got to meet Uncle Luther. And I know they're going, God damn. I remember in college, there was a boy and a girl twin. The girl played soccer and the boy just went to the school because his sister went there for soccer. And she was a stunner. I seen her in a party first. She was on the other side of a kitchen island, everybody drinking beers and shotgunning and having fun. I was like, damn, she bad. 20 minutes later, him and his friends walk in. I'm like, wait a minute. He looked like a hurry if she didn't have no makeup on and no girl frame and no. Then they stood by each other, started talking. I was like, oh shit, they're twins. What? Ew. Ew. What do you do?
Do you know who Blue Ivy is?
I do. That's Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter.
Who does she resemble more?
In the face? Her daddy. But Jay-Z uglier than the motherfucker, so ain't nobody lining up to see the girl version of that nigga.
I actually just seen she was on stage with Beyonce recently, and people were saying that the older, because she's a lot older from when I remember seeing her, but they're saying that she's starting to like resemble Beyonce now.
Good. I think the kids start to resemble whoever they're around the most, or who, I don't know. You're not in charge of that, but this is the weirdo shit I be thinking about. Like, if you see a beautiful woman and you don't know her twin and you ain't met her dad, then you go to the family reunion and everybody walking around this park got her face in some kind of way. I had a girlfriend in college named Irene Howard. Irene, beautiful woman. Beautiful. Went over to her house, met her mom, Dana. Dana looked like Irene. Her little brother came in, little brother looked like Irene. Her other little brother came in, looked like Irene. Showed me family pictures from her family back in like Stockton, California. Everybody from left to right in the front row and the back row all had that same goddamn, it was something, it's just, everybody looked a little bit like Nicki Minaj. Like your family looks alike, you know what I'm saying? You look alike. But what is it when you see the girl and you're like, ooh, couldn't get it, and then meet the dad and you're like, oh my God.
I still think it's not gay though, because there's something about like,
It's called Freudian.
What does that mean?
Freudian is exactly what your hand is trying to point at. The word is Freudian.
I was thinking like chemically, like if you're sexually attracted to women, there's like a chemical that will just go off in your brain when you see a female that is attracted.
And that chemical ain't firing off for no man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you remember that dude, my comic homie who came to the first You Look Like, his name was Thad.
Yeah.
Indian dude. I met Thad first, been around Thad first. His mom and dad would come to the shows. Yeah. His older sister, who lives in D.C., came out, and you know she's married and everything, but she came to the show. Everybody was like, God damn, she's kind of fine. But then she looked just like that. So it was like Dad in a wig.
Dad looked like her. He looked like her.
Right. So, but I'm like, I mean, we was jokingly like, would you still smash? We were like, hell yeah, but it's Dad in a wig, but that's her girl.
We smashed Dad. And Dad is like, I've been dealing with this my whole life.
Right.
Like
I'm sure he has.
Have you ever met the girl's mom and it's like, it's just her from another generation?
The girl's mom and it's her from another generation?
Yes.
No.
I've seen a girl that looks so much like her mom that when meeting the mom, you're like, oh my God, it's you, but 20 years, 40 years, whatever, how many years before, with whatever sensibilities she got.
I'm trying to think.
You like, nigga, I'd take this whole household down. You even seen that?
Nah,
you ever seen a girl look so much like her? Man, listen. I'll tell you this. Being from different schools and seeing all these different graduations, hosting step shows and doing all that stuff, when you do a lot of step shows, families come support the people that are in the step shows, right? If there's a fine-ass Zeta and then her family shows up, chances are the mama fine and a motherfucker too. You understand what I'm saying? It's rare that a person is like the perfect blend of both parents. I don't think that's as often as somebody, you look more like your mama or you look more like your daddy. You know who you look more like? Who you look more like?
Well, I ain't never met my daddy.
That nigga who you look like. Don't your sister look like your mama?
Yeah, she definitely does.
Okay, well then if you don't look like your sister, then you look like your daddy.
Yeah, that used to make me mad because all my mom's friends would say that growing up, but I'm like, I ain't never seen this dude.
Damn, he look like his daddy.
Yeah, and I used to get upset.
You never met him?
Never met him.
You're like, I look like me.
Right.
Yeah, no, you like that nigga. And that's okay. I actually look like a little bit of both of my parents. My older sister, Dabrina, looks a lot like my dad.
For sure.
But the yellow version and feminine.
Yeah.
Right? My sister, Erica, looks like my Aunt Mary. Like their baby pictures side by side, you'd be like, that's the same baby. Just one of these pictures is black and white. Right?
I see you and I see your mom in you more than your dad.
Yeah, but if you had them side by side and saw them, because if I'm with my dad, people go twins. If I'm with my mom, people go twins. It's crazy that I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But together, I don't know which one they'd be like, oh, you look more like. I know the chubbier my face is, everybody's like, you look like your mama. My mama's a little chunky lady, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I thin out, they're like, I see the Nat Jackson in his face. You know what I mean? Because my dad he's always been, either thin or masculine at the same time as thin. But I don't know what that term is called. I'm sure there's a psychologist that is like, oh, that term is called this. But yeah, I think it's a trip when somebody looks on their own. You're like, I'm attracted to that person. And then when their sibling that's a different gender or father or grandfather comes in, looks just like me, like, yo, what the fuck? What? I'm not attracted to the daddy and the brother. Like, you guys weren't attracted to Thad.
No.
It was whatever she was doing where she took Thad's facial features and hooked it up. Also, it don't be exactly the same. It be like softer. You know what I'm saying? It'd be the girl version. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, anyway, like I say, your grandma a hoe, and you think she wasn't, and she was getting packed out back in 1976 like a brand new box of Newports. Okay? You need to know that. When you sit down with your granny and ask her, you know, hey, all the stuff you did and the fun you had, do you see any of that affecting me in a negative way? And your granny gonna tell you, I was a little fast. So when I see you out here in these streets, that's why I don't try to tell you what time to be home. Because back in my day, you doing half the damage I'm doing. Your granny was a hoe. Your granny was a hoe. Now, I'm going to transition out of this really just nonsensical topic and get into something that's actually on my spirit that's bothering me a lot, okay? I am in duck in a water mode where it may look like things are coasting smooth and everything's fine, but under the surface, I'm not at ease. I'm not at peace. I am actually off-centered. I don't feel 100% spiritually or emotionally. I'm in a state of confusion and flat out wrecked emotionally because the friend I have, the frat brother that I have that has been the most invested in my career since spring of 2004, I'm talking has been to at least one show per year before kids, then with wife, bringing like this whole evolution of our friendship going from boys and young men to mature men has been a shared experience in regards to my career. When I post a video and the video makes him laugh, that's who calls my phone and is like, why are you like this? Like, dog, why would you say that? And he can't even get his shit together enough to try and re-say what I said because he's actually fully tickled and really laughing at the moments. He's been to countless shows. I mean, this is somebody who, you know, a spark plug to a situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll fight. We'll be the little one that all the big ones got to go follow because he done turned up. But it's always for a reason. You know what I'm saying? A fantastic father, brother, frat brother, cousin, friend, poet, and a connector of people. My guy literally, without being voted into a position or told this is your position, made himself chapter historian and went and physically tracked down all living members of the Chi Alpha Alpha chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And our chapter has a history. But listen, Washington State University, Eastern Washington University, Whitworth College, like all these schools, it's the same chapter. And the black students, they're coming from other states, generally to play football. So as soon as they graduate or they're finished playing, they go back home. It's not like an Atlanta chapter where they grew up in Atlanta, went to college in Atlanta, pledged in Atlanta, then stayed in Atlanta. My whole chapter, like there's very few, there's no Qs on the yard now, but there's very few Qs, even in the same area. The only one, Shane is still around because Shane is from Eastern Washington. So he's still at least a 2-hour drive from campus. Since the 80s, ain't nobody staying in Pullman after they graduate to just be the old bro on the yard. Like, you might do grad school, but you get up out of there. You go back to where you're from and you go to where life has given you this option to be. And my frat brother friend, my close friend, he made it a point to literally go door to door and meet everybody and get personally in touch with everybody that is in the fraternity. And that's just our chapter. Then he's connected all over California, everywhere, East Coast and the South, heavily on the west of the Mississippi, but connected on the East because he made a point to actually not only say what has a frat done for me, but what can I do for the frat? Like, he did his work as an Omega. He did his work as a black man. He did his work as a community leader and was hooping, and his heart stopped just right there on the basketball court. Out of respect for his family, I'm going to allow myself to talk about it and let him remain nameless. Because to a certain extent, it may be an overstep for me to even be talking about it in detail for what happened. But he's no longer with us. And this is somebody that I love. This is somebody I love dearly. This is my guy. And he's not with us. And leaving behind a beautiful wife and family of 2 beautiful little chocolate baby girls. And the D9 where I'm from, the D9 on this coast, in this state, in this region, is in shambles in regards to it. Because he was a D1 track athlete that still resembled that in regards to health. Maybe a little dad bod, but nothing resembling how big I've gotten. Then you look left and right, and I haven't dealt with a lot of loss, so I'm just going to talk freely, and you can be like, what a dick, or what, you can say whatever the fuck you want. But I'm going to say this. There's so many pieces of shit that are still with us that I am just befuddled that our newest angel is somebody who had a lot more life ahead of them. It's not on me to make that determination. We all know we're not the ones responsible. Unless you're a taker of life, we don't get to command how long somebody lives or not. But how is one person still kicking it and thumping around and another person not? How are people from like the big people from all them weight loss shows? I'm not wishing anything on them, but how are their bodies able to keep up with powering that much mass and being massive humans? And then somebody that is literally visibly in shape, hearts to stop. Just stop. And then where's the response? Where's the swooping of the the people who are supposed to try and revive? Where's that? Where's the people that are like, get him here, get him there, we got to get the emergency service, we hurry up? Where is that? How many people are walking around telling stories about, this happened to me, man, I died, but then, man, they brought me back, they saved me, they were able to. So it's one thing to be like, damn it, they took his life early. They being whoever is in charge of that, God. But then didn't give it back, despite the efforts of everybody that's trying to get it back. There's people that have been out surfing, swallowed a half gallon of water, floated to the goddamn land, and somebody stepped on their stomach and they just start coughing and burping up water. Motherfucker been drowned in the ocean, been drowned in the pool, got their life back. People have fallen from crazy heights, should really just splatter and somehow miraculously get up and walk off, or get picked up and then rehabilitate back to what they need to be rehabilitated back to. Hit by cars, crazy car accidents. 50 Cent been shot 9 goddamn times. And I'm not saying why not him, but I am saying why my guy? Now, here's the other thing that comes with, I don't know if everyone is dealing with this shit the same way. I only got one life that I'm living, but it seems like because of my station in life that everybody from that point in my life of knowing my guy all the way up until now that knows that we had a friendship is checking on me. And that's fine because that's our nature. But sometimes it doesn't feel genuine. Sometimes it feels like, oh, let me just, let me reach out to this, somebody I use, because you're not consistent. You don't check on me. You don't call on me. But now it's like, oh man, oh, is it true? What happened? What's up with Oprah? I'm trying to stay busy, keep my mind off of it as best I can. I have a job to do. I have a world to entertain. And I'm supposed to just keep it all together and all that, because this is the life of a comic. You gotta be able to go through what you're going through and come up out of that, and you better tell these jokes. Think of the shitball in your life. They're alive right now. My guy was an all-around blessing. He gone. So the lesson that I can say from that, there isn't really one that makes sense, but check on your healthy friends. Check on, like, be the connector, be the glue of friendships the way he was, because taken too soon, taken too young, but there is something eerie about how much of a connector he was, about how much of a historian he was. Almost like he knew life was fleeting, time was fleeting, and like somebody got to put this together for all of us. Or how passionate he was. Like at a Oakland Athletics, Oakland A's game versus the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, he's screaming back and forth with 3 and 4 rows of Dodgers fans like that's not going to escalate and don't give a damn. Standing on business. Like that level of passion. Take that, put it in a pen, and then he was a maestro with words. Spoken word artist, great cook, great dude, great husband, great father. And my heart cries for these 2 sweet little baby girls that just watch their dad get dressed to go to the gym. I'll be right back, and he ain't never come back. Like, what? And I'm my brother's keeper. On mamas. If it was necessary, that whole family can come live with me. I'll be a great father figure and a great friend. And ain't that what we're supposed to do? Ain't that what the Bible says? If necessary, home is open. Let's raise these kids. You get the most out of life. That's, when and if you're ever ready to do self-care and self-pamper and all that, like no judgment from me, go do that. You know what I'm saying? Like live your life to the fullest. The wife, I'm not saying get back out there and date, but I am saying as far as being cared for, provided for, and all that, if you have the means to do so and something happened, because he would have did it for me. It's flat out that simple. If I had children and something happened to me, unequivocally, this particular frat brother would be like, I'm going to help raise the kids that he's not here to raise. And to the best of my ability to do the way he would have did it. That's the dynamic. So in this world of fake ones and real ones, I don't understand the balance or what is kept and held by taking a real one too early, taking a real one too soon. And then when we are doing what is scientifically proven to have the ability to bring life back, that doesn't work. It's almost a double snatching of greatness. But yeah, it's been devastating. I mean, I have frat brothers that as soon as they heard it, people start throwing up. Like that's a different level of grief. That's a different level of grieving. That upon the news, your body releases what's in your digestive system. You're shaking. You're crying. You're throwing up. You feel pain in your side. You're sweating. Like all of you, I mean, your endocrine system, your respiratory system, your breathing ain't right. Your heart aches. You're all, like that level of grieving. I have not experienced, nor do I want to. It's inevitable, though. No one lives forever. No one lives forever. I am not familiar with loss like that. I have both of my parents still. I was too young to understand what in the hell happened when my grandfather passed at 103, but nobody yelled out too soon at that funeral. I've lost people, but none that have been a part of the fiber and so close and so similar to me and like a brother to me that I have not lost. So, you know, that's that. I'm just sharing, you know. I actually feel like there's more respect in saying somebody's name than there is in not saying their name. I'm talking about Martin Boston, my main motherfucker, man. You know, as far as the fraternity goes, I mean it. I'm not capping when I say he's been to more things, been more supportive out of any Omega and the entire fraternity. And because of that, and because there isn't a bunch of other like, oh, the bruh support this thing. Like how many shows we do where I come out on stage and you hear barking from all over the theater?
Too many to count.
But not every single one. Not if you watch Ricky Smiley shit and you see the bros hopping and bros all in balconies and 50, 60 bros at a show and all that, you don't see me hanging after shows with a shitload of this in every show. You don't see that. Yeah, maybe once every so often I got a frat brother or somebody in the meet and greet line that is aware that I'm an Omega and they are one as well, but not one where I'm like, nigga, that's my chapter, but that's my motherfucker. You don't see it. You don't, because that's not a thing. Everybody's living their own lives. They're doing their own things. They're with their own families. They're getting their own money. But when I tell you he came to as many, if I was in Cali, he was there. The dog would road trip, dog would drive, dog would fly, dog would catch things. He flew up for the Netflix special. He was here. He's in the crowd. He's on the goddamn Netflix special. Gone now, though. It's insane. So my prayers go out to the Boston family, the Archie family, the Chi Alpha Alpha chapter of Omega Psi Phi, and Martin was a twin. So I don't even know the pain associated with looking at yourself and seeing your sibling that's gone in the mirror every time. That's going to be tough for his twin. But they say twins feel what the other one's going through and all that, and now he, like that, the amount of people that inappropriately have been checking on me, I'm okay with appropriate ones. Trust me, I get it. But the ones that are like, what happened? How he died? What's up? Where he at? Right? Like just a level of insensitivity to the entire thing. Like I literally said, I'm wrecked about the passing of Martin, not thinking about any other person with the name Martin. And people are like, Luther King? Nigga, what? Shanae died? Nigga, what? Maybe don't comment. Maybe sit back or check on it or just be like, maybe someone's going to say what they're talking about. Let me do a little bit of deductive reasoning and see who it might be talking about. Maybe you go on your own Google and go, is Martin Lawrence, whatever Martin you're thinking of, if you're Martin Sheen, Martin Scorsese, whoever you think of, you go, did they pass? Like, oh, no, they didn't. Well, he must be talking about someone else. And if you can't do that, then just shut the fuck up and mind your business. There was some friends from college that came to the open mic last night that were in the bar. And I'm just trying to keep it pushing. Keep it, you know what I'm saying? I find it's a pet peeve. Here's another pet peeve on the way out. The people that they get something from being able to mourn with you or sharing that with you, or they want you to mourn and grieve their way. All I know is to work hard. I'm going to keep doing that. Martin would slap the shit out of somebody if they fucked with the flow of that work ethic. Literally be like, let that nigga work. The people I haven't seen in years while I'm doing my thing, and I know they're just looking for another person to put a head on the shoulder, but don't expect me to break down. Don't expect me to cry. I'm coming from a position of strength. I'm talking about the strongest parts of what we represent from what Boston is. But they ain't no bitch. Fuck we crying for? It's a tragedy. It's sad. It is unfortunate. But nigga, I don't know you. You don't get to come to me and I know your relationship was nowhere near the way mine and his was. And you're like, oh man, I feel away. Like, I'm not finna, you know how out of place that shit feels? When somebody that is high profile loses a friend, family, or a loved one, I think people, our general shit should be shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck. When my boy, when Tony Baker's son passed away, people thought they were helping by caring and saying sentiments and asking him and coming to shows and interrupting and being like, we love you, Tony, and fucking walking up during the meet and greet and bringing like fucking pictures of his son that passed out of love. But like, there's a certain amount of that's insensitive as fuck. You throw him into a prison of grief because you decided to put that wall up around it, or you wanted to have that moment to share with them of that. Mind your goddamn business. If you care so much, put some money into the baby's funds to go to college. Put some money into the fund so that what was a 2-income household that's now a 1-income household doesn't feel that hit. I have people that don't even know Martin, don't know none of that, and will not stop calling my phone to check on me. You okay? You and Bible quotes. Don't perverse my good book. Don't perverse the faith I have, the unwavering faith I have in God, to take what you got one passage about loss and then try to apply it to this situation. When it's like, it's, you know, part of it is just like, I'd be mad at people. Shut the fuck up. I'll cope how I want to cope. Let me come to you and be like, hey, I want to tell you this thing or whatever. Like, but it is what it is. I might just put a square in the air and knock back some hen dog and sit in solace and go through about my boy. So you hear me? I know you hear this, but I've had most of the interactions where people have brought me something or said sorry, or they heard me already talk about it on one way or the other. That was welcome. Nobody has trespassed upon that, but in social media, they did. Social media said dumb shit. And if that's how I feel, I can't imagine his wife. I can't imagine his LBs. I can't imagine anybody that had a more regular public interaction with him down in the Bay where he's at. Like, people are just like, we're just numb to it as a society. Listen, I gotta go. That's this episode. Call someone that you love and fucking tell them you love them. Don't just assume that they do. Don't switch up on your homies. Keep it solid. Be the rock. Tighten up. Tighten up. And if by all means you are the example to people that you're setting, then move accordingly. Uphold that example. You work from your strength, not from your weakness. I love all y'all. And root to the Qs.